My Hero Vigilante, 13 episodes, action and manga adaptation. Now, yes, My Hero Vigilante is a spin off, a prequel to My Hero Academia. Now, you do not have to watch My Hero Academia to watch this anime, but you will appreciate it so much more if you have. You don't have to watch the entirety of My Hero Academia. If you want to do that, watch that first and watch this one. No, I think that with the first two seasons of My Hero Academia, you can watch that one if you want, and later return to My Hero Vigilante. Because yes, you're going to appreciate it much more. You're going to see a little bit more backstory of certain characters that you will have watched in My Hero Academia, and you're going to see a lot of, how do I say this, a lot of setup of events that later accumulated and happened in My Hero Academia proper. So yes, so before I start talking about the a little bit of the story of My Hero Vigilante, I'm going to talk about a little bit of the characters. Now, first I'm going to talk about the main character Konoichi. Now, he is your typical underdog. He living in a abandoned building, a very small house, down on his luck, and supposedly that has a crappy quirk, but he still likes to go around town late at night helping people, being a somewhat vigilante, but the only thing that he's doing is picking up trash, helping people with direction, and so on and so on, helping people when they're drunk and stuff like that. So nothing all that wild. The only thing that I can say that I personally did not like, he being a super All Might fanatic, because in that little aspect I thought there was a little bit too much of a copy paste from Deku. Deku also being a super All Might fanatic, having poster figurines of All Might all over his room. So Konoichi having a lot of different All Might jackets and hoodies, and being super into All Might. Look, I get him being a fan, maybe having one or two All Might hoodies, but trying to have all the collection of hoodies and everything, being super hyper fanatic. I don't know, just I wanted a little bit being completely different from Deku. They two of them sharing the thing about being fanatic of All Might didn't sit right for me, but that's just me. Now we have uh, Kazuho, who also in the anime you're going to pop step the underground idol, who uses her quirks to jump around in the air singing. And about her, the yes, there are a lot of things. One, she has a very good voice. I really did enjoy her singing, and she doesn't sing the same song every single time throughout the when she sings throughout the anime. No, she does a little bit. I think like three different songs during the anime, and that they enjoy her singing. Now, yes, there's also the thing about she being censored because she has those black thighs, stockings. I forgot the name of that black stocking thighs, and yes, that's a censor because in the manga she didn't have that. Now, honestly, it didn't bother me. Personally, me, it didn't bother me that they censor and gave her those black stockings. Maybe, because look, we have seen sloppy, sloppy censorship here in the West, let's say, where they just simply draw with a blank marker to hide the cleavage or something, and it looks so cheap and so not well done, like like uh somebody who just got into animation or programming or something could do that in a single hour, even less, maybe in 10 minutes. But no, at least they didn't redesign her whole her outfit. Is what I'm saying. If they would have redesigned her whole outfit, I would have been very upset. But just giving her black stockings, doesn't bother me that much. Now we have the third member of our group and serious knuckle duster, and he is just hilarious. He is the very definition of hit first and ask questions later. In fact, no, let me scratch that. Hit first and ask questions never. Seriously, he doesn't ask you, oh, are you the one that are doing this illegal activity? No. Bam! And while you're down unconscious, then he rummaged through your pockets to see if there's any evidence. Oh, you were innocent? Oh, well, okay. And move on to the next person to beat up. The dude is super hilarious. I really like him. Also, one thing that I really like that there's many times throughout the anime where they put really thick outlines throughout his body when he where there's serious moments or other moments, and it gives it a real comic book type of vibe, not manga, comic book type of vibe that I really like that when they do that to him during the anime the first season. There's also other characters technically, but I'm go side characters. No, no, I'm going to say them now. We have, like I said, Konoichi, our main character. Well, by episode 8, was it 8? Yes, I think episode 8, Konoishi's mom enters the picture, and I'm going to tell you, I do not like her. She Look, I get it, protecting your son from danger, and not only from danger, but from himself. But smacking him around since he was a baby, that's a little too far. I mean, she smacked him so much from to baby, childhood, and now that he's a college student. Throughout his entire life, she smacked him so much that it caused him a mental block or a mental trauma so that he cannot access anymore the full potential of his quirk. And look, I'm not that type of person that, oh, gentle parenting or anything like that. No, it's more like, okay, I warned you once, I warned you twice. Okay, in the third time, bam, then you can hit him. But she, for at least what I saw in the first season, she's the type that doesn't go to the second time. No, in the first one, bam, you hear me? I told you. I just did not like her. Now we also have uh, I forgot his superhero name, and the internet is okay now. Captain Here it says Captain Celebrity or Christopher Skyline. Well, I'm just going to use his superhero name, Captain Celebrity. The dude, I think the first time he's up here was 9. No, I forgot, but it was later on. The dude is a hilarious disaster. He's obviously with the whole look is inspired by Superman, but the dude is such a disaster because yes, he's strong and everything, can fly, strength, all of that, but he is gets in a lot of trouble being such a ladies man hitting on so many women, and despite having and now having a wife, and going to through nasty divorce that he has to practically run away from America all the way to Japan to be a hero there until things cool down with his well soon to be ex-wife. The dude was just a riot, but at first he came out a little bit too arrogant, not wanting to help people unless that the cameras were on and stuff like that. But later on, after a certain character that I'm going to mention her now, put him in his reigns, he started being a more somewhat likable character because if she wasn't there, I know that he would still be loose doing a lot of damage to himself morally. Now, the last side character that going to touch is Makoto, who is not just only. At first, I thought that she was going to be one episode only, being a pretty face, maybe cause a little bit of tension between towards another character that has a little crush on our main character. But no, she ended up being a quite an essential plus an interesting character because she talk about a lot of the history of heroes and so on, like a historian, and she talks about the gray line between what makes a hero and what makes a vigilante, or even what makes a villain and what makes a hero, and it's very thought provoking what she says. And like I said, this character is the one that put Captain Celebrity in his place because she has the soon to be ex-wife on speed dial. So if he ever gets out of line, she can say, "Oh, I have certain proof that can make the divorce proceedings in favor to your soon to be ex-wife." So she puts him in line, put him on a tight schedule, what to do, interviews and so on, going to help people, making him upping his celebrity status, like his name. So she it was a surprising good character. Now, are there other characters? Yes, technically there's other characters that are very interesting. Some of them that, how would I say, that either foreshadow stuff that going to happen in My Hero Academia, or some that appear in My Hero Academia that appear in this one. So the only one that I feel comfortable to mentioning is Eraserhead, who appears very early on in episode 2 so I'm not going to say that it's a spoiler or anything, but yes, Eraserhead appeared very early on in this season, and that's just one of the characters. There's other characters that appear in My Hero Academia that appear on this one, that you see how stuff they did affects the stuff that are going to happen later down the line and how everything connects. So now that I already mentioned all the characters, side characters, and so on, let's talk a little bit about the story. Now, when it comes to the story, like I said, Konoichi being an underdog, teaming up with Knuckle Duster and Pop Step to essentially be a trio of vigilantes. Now, while Konoichi is simply wanting to help people and everything, but Knuckle Duster has a certain mission, a personal goal of, let's say, he's very invested in a certain drug that is ramishing. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that word. Ramishing the city in the background and making and that certain drug If you watch My Hero Academia, you know exactly what that drug does, or not does, mostly what it's going to become down the line. So it good foreshadowing. And let's just say the only thing that let's say I think when Knuckle Duster finally corners the person or peoples that are distributing that drug, let's just say that things don't end the typical anime way. It's not going to be the typical, oh my goodness. No, sorry. I always, for some reason, say that phrase too much. No, it's going to be the typical, oh, you remember who you are. Remember what your dreams, your passion, what you told me in the past. Fight it. I know that you can overcome this. And miraculously, oh, she overcame that whatever was happening to her. Um, Happy ending. No, no, this is not a power of friendship. No, this is the power of fist and knuckle duster. So yes, it got resolved not by the power of friendship, but more in a more realistic way. And yes, Kazuho, not she doesn't necessarily want to be a vigilante or anything like that. She mostly got wrapped in all of this, and she mostly uh, doesn't fight at all. She's mostly uh, just a lookout when trouble is coming, or when the villains, or when the heroes are coming, and so on and so on. But yes, mostly the whole drugs, the illegal drug situation that's going throughout the city, very very interesting. And yes, you see a lot of characters that later on develop and appear in My Hero Vigilante. I think I'm talking in circles now. So I think I said my piece with the how some characters I love, some characters I did like, but there's some things that I didn't love. So let me just stop here. I'm going to give this one a score of 8, an 8 out of 10. Yes, and I'm happy that to tell you that there's going to be a second season, and this will not be the last time that we're going to see of Knuckle Duster. Um, just going to leave it here. So, have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're from. See you next video.